Sorry. All right, you go ahead.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I'm Dwayne Parsons. I'm the acting manager of rate setting for the Office of Main Care Services. I'm joined here today by Amanda Lee, who is our rate setting coordinator, David Jorgensen, who is the director of business analytics, and Henry Eckerson, who is the policy manager for this policy. And Laurel Nodden, I'll let you introduce yourself. I'm not familiar with your role.
Hi, I'm Laurel, and I am the current policy writer for this policy, working under Henry.
Thank you. Most of you know we're coming here to discuss the rate model for the T1026 modifier HK Child Abuse Evaluation Code. And we're trying to do this rate determination based on comments that were received during the initial Section 23 bundled rate for the foster care evaluations. So I don't have pretty slides because of the speed at which this has to be done to be implemented for 7/1/24. I do have a rate model to share and the assumptions. And we'll only be discussing the T1026 HK modifier code today with the rate model.
Sorry to interrupt. And before you get into details, I also wanted to just do a quick introduction of Jessica Miller. Jessica is our new policy director for the Office of Main Care Services.
Thank you, David. So we apologize for the quick, turnaround on this and the lack of time. But as most of you probably already know by now, the Title 22 Statute 3173J rate reform law requires us to do a forum presentation with interested parties and also hold a comment period. The comment period will end on the 21st, which is not a lot of time, which I think most of you are already aware of. Do we have is there any questions on the timeline before I jump into presenting the rate model?
I would just like to say that we are sending out a presented materials notice. I believe it'll be today. It might actually need to go out while we're still in the meeting. And then if it doesn't go out today, it'll have to go out Monday. So we'll try to keep you all informed and make sure you have everything you need to make comment.
And I'll supply my email address at the end of the meeting. So you don't have to wait for a link or anything for the comments, and you can send them directly to me and just put the comment or that in the subject line. That way we don't cause further delays on a extremely truncated timetable. All right, with that, I will jump into the rate model. Can everyone see that? And do I need to enlarge it for anyone?
I would like it to be bigger. There. That's
all right. So for the rate model, we have three professional designations that we used, which was the child abuse pediatrician, a nurse practitioner, and the LCSW. The rate model, very similar to what you would have seen in Burns rate studies in the past that has been done by for the department. The wages are primarily based off from BLS codes using the most recent BLS data, which is published for May 2023. That was then inflated using the CPIW index through March of 2024. The benefit percentage is based on a formula that we typically use, that has been used in other rate presentations and models for calculating the benefit percentages, so it's consistent with what we've done in the past. We did need the productivity adjustment data from that is the provider provided for us, which we appreciate for those various productivity adjustments needed to get to the billable hours. There is also a time dedicated, which is similar to what was done for the therapeutic foster care evaluation model, but slightly different, as we don't include admin here. Admin is included in the 16%. We did, so the time dedicated was based on provider submitted data. We did adjust those numbers to roll the 20% that was dedicated to an admin staff into the other portions, the other professional designations, to ensure there's 100% time dedicated calculation in the rate model. So we start with the wages, add in the benefit percentage to get to the hourly staff costs. Then we assume a 40-hour work week for a full-time employee. From there, the productivity adjustments reduce down what hours are considered billable, which creates our productivity adjustment, which is then multiplied by the hourly staff costs after benefits to determine what the actual billable, the hourly cost is per billable hour. In this situation, we also took the time dedicated and then multiplied that by that billable hour amount to get the amount that is going to be attributed to the bundle. We did that also with the nurse practitioner salary. And again, the information provided to us on productivity adjustments. We also did that with the LSW. For the office space, we built in right now, as of right now, 200 square feet, as the office space should be the space used for the actual evaluations. So we built in the $200 square foot assumption for that space at the annual cost per square foot of $16 an hour, or $16 a square foot, sorry, for an annual cost of $3,200. And then we also included 16% for program support rate and administrative rate, as that's what we've recently been using in other rate studies. So it's consistent with what we've been doing in other areas. The BLS categories that were used, we tied those to similar rate studies and used code 291171 for nurse practitioners, took the median with the inflation. For the LSW, we took the 211023 code for mental health and substance abuse social workers. That is the higher of most of the BLS social workers for as far as pay range goes. And then the administrative assistant we originally were looking at, but then put that in the admin rate. With the child abuse pediatricians, there is no designation in the BLS for those. So I looked at jobs across the country to get a floor and a ceiling for what they're advertising for rates, and then compiled that list with the state just to get a rough idea. We went with 275 because that's similar to what was used in the therapeutic foster care evaluation model that was just completed. So we figured we keep it consistent with the rate that we used for that model, as it's high, and it's also higher than what we observed when looking at other states. The overall rate that we came out with was $208.52 per billable hour for those services, or for those evaluations. And that's what we've done for a model. I know that was really quick. And we can take some questions on if you have questions with the model, but a lot of so any comments on things that that you feel need to be improved or changes that you feel need to be made, please make those through the comment process. But we're happy to engage in some discussion, around, various other structural questions you may have. And I see, yeah,
just
go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to offer my appreciation for this. I think I can follow it. I understand the work that's been done, and it's transparent, and I do appreciate you taking some of the feedback that I've offered with regard to that productivity adjustment piece and what the billable hours are. That I do also have a comment, but I'll save it for comments. I don't think. But far and away, I just wanted to just express my appreciation and say thank you.
You're welcome, and thank you very much for your assistance, Ginny. I know you've put a lot of work into trying to help us with this model as well, so I appreciate the efforts that you've put in.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'll just this is Eric at Spurwink. I'll just echo Ginny's comments about how much I appreciate the incredibly high rate of speed with which this happened. You mentioned it, Dwayne, and I know that this isn't the way any of us like to work, sort of that fast, and yet you clearly were super thorough and thoughtful in working this process. So I really appreciate it.
Looks like we have some questions in the chat. Or is that Amanda? That's Amanda. Okay.
Yeah, sorry. I guess we didn't really need the Q&A because it's such a small group.
Right.
Sorry,
So,
Amanda, can you hear me?
yeah.
So a question about, so this is the rate, but the policy, so the rules around it will come, that'll be what's emailed to us in a little bit. Is that what's going to be sent
The
out?
rule.
Or so, what's the hour? So it's, you give us the rate, but is there a maximum number of hours that we should bill, or is that going to sort of bring up to 11 hours?
Nope, we haven't. I mean, my assumption is that in what we've learned is that the range is about 2.25 hours to 11 or 13 hours per assessment, so it's a very wide range with an average at roughly 6. I don't think we have a cap. I think these situations require flexibility to ensure that the needs are getting met appropriately for whatever the member needs are. That's my understanding. I would defer to Henry if there's anything else. But I don't think there's any cap on billable units.
Yeah, there is a cap currently in the rule.
Okay.
We have not discussed whether or not we can or should remove it. And unfortunately, I can't say more at this time.
Can you tell me what the cap, or can you say what the cap
It's
is?
11 hours.
11 hours. So it's on the upper end anyway.
Yep.
Okay. That's good to know. Yeah. So, I mean, there might be, so based on the data we have, there might be some situations in which it may not be efficient, but for the most cases, it should work out for the billable hours.
This will not be like a bond rate, whereas it's like we are for the comprehensive health assessments, where that, from my understanding, might be sort of more of a flat bundled rate. This will still be billed per hour as we're doing it now. Just
That is, yes, that is correct. We are still going to stick with the T1026 procedure code with the HK modifier for hourly billing. It's not going to be a bundled rate like the foster care evaluation that was done previously. Yep. gonna stop sharing my screen here. Any other questions? No? Okay. I'm going to put my email address in the chat right now. It'll also be part of the notice, but like I said, I do not want you to have to wait to make comments or so you can get those in because of our timeline. That is my email address.
So, just, I think, Amanda, you already spoke to this, but I just want to clarify. So you'll send these materials. How will we see these materials other than what we've just seen? In order to comment?
Yeah, so basically the notice has to go out by noon. We'll probably be all set. I'll post the stuff on the website. And then the notice should go out by noon with the what was presented and then the comment deadline.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And if you have any additional questions, please feel free to shoot me an email to ask those, and I'll do my best to respond as fast as possible. Just to clear those up, so you guys can have what you need to put in any comments that you need to submit. All right. And if there's no other
Thank you.
questions, I guess we
Yep.
can save an hour, and that's the fastest rate determination ever right there. Boom.
We're all about the speed. We're all about the speed.
Is it the
Today,
smallest
anyway.
room? Is it the smallest room you've ever had for a rate?
Yeah, it's
Think
probably the
so.
smallest room too, yes.
That helps. Thank you. Thanks again.
Thank you.
much.
Thank you
Thanks,
so
Tom.
much. We really
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Thank you very
Thank
much,
you.
everyone.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everyone.
All
Thanks,
right,
everyone.
bye.
Thank you.